We rolling?
We are rolling.
We're rolling. We are. Let's slap a number on it. What number is it?
Episode 294.
What? Flip the screen the other way. Show them who else is here.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Where are we?
Where are we?
Nox Hotel.
Yeah, we're in Galway, County Galway, Ireland. We're in this neat little town of Galway at the Nox Hotel, and we're at the, what is it, the fourth last day?
Yeah, fourth.
Yeah. So we've been here for a few days. We've played in Letterkenny. We played in Westport. We played last night on Procon in Galway. Thank you, Brendan Down.
Yes.
What a beast. I sent you the videos too. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe the end.
Did I tell you we said to him when I first walked in? He walked in. He goes, "Hey, what's up, Kurt?"
Kurt.
I was like, I didn't even catch it. I went, "No, man, it's Kevin," because I'm so used to that. And he was like, "No." I was like, "Oh my god!" We just started laughing.
Did you better explain what you're talking about?
So I was post online pictures for me and my twin brother to guess who's
Identical
who.
twin brother.
Yeah, who's who, Kevin or Kurt, and he hit me with that, and so I just died.
Nailed it.
Oh,
That's
it was
cool.
so
That's
good.
so cool.
It was so
You're
good.
Yeah. Well, Brendan Brendan's been a friend of ours for a long time, and I always told him, I said, if I ever get that Cosby cocktail just right, he's going to wake up in a van with us, because he's just like I say, just a friend for so long now, and he's been running sound for us. He told me yesterday, as we were heading to the gig, he said, "Don't worry about getting here on time." He said, because we're sitting. It was raining yesterday. It was cold. It was raining. It was not when we were sightseeing. Only when we were going to the gig.
That's right.
And the traffic into Galway was amazing. And he says, let's just take your time. He said, I've got all your settings saved, meaning on his soundboard. Mm-hmm. He's able to hit a button and recall all our exact settings from when we played here last year. And everything just zipped back up, and it's all perfect in our ears. This room sounded great. The people on our tour have been tremendous. I mean, everybody from Tony driving the bus to everybody on the board. I mean, just every year we do this. I say this with all sincerity. The bond that is formed between us and the gang that comes on the tour. All right, everybody meet in my room for a group hug. Thank you. This is our 10th year doing this. And it gets better and better and better every year. But every single year, it seems like more friends find each other. Everybody stays in touch.
Yeah.
Everybody's been taking each other out to eat, holding places in restaurants, and meeting others on the street, and also mingling with the locals. Friend of ours, Mark Havna, who you probably know, Mark and Flint from Catch My Carbon in Westport. They plant trees to offset the carbon footprint for travel and all that stuff. Just amazing folk. I've known Mark for 35 years, maybe a long time, and he was responsible for getting us a show at McGing's in Westport last night, and night before last, and he just the bond between the locals and us after the end of the night, it's inhuman, right? It's just not natural. It just doesn't feel natural. I mean, it's natural when you feel it, but the speed in which it picks up is right.
Yeah, that was a cool place.
Yeah,
Really great.
Yeah.
I can see why. Immediately saw why Mark's so fond of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of people on the tour tell me that that was their favorite show.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh man, it was just so intimate." Like, everyone was right there.
Yeah, and Letterkenny could have been the favorite show if they just were the club people. If there was a little slight miscommunication, not on our behalf. Nope. But slight miscommunication, and then the management. It's kind of set up to be more like a nightclub vibe. So there's securities in high vis jackets, and there's a very, very young crowd, but so energetic and so into I'd said they're not going to. They knew every fucking song.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was essentially like a stadium concert with that small town vibe and all that stuff. But that could have been everybody's favorite gig if there was not that mix up at the beginning.
Yeah.
Truly remarkable, and I'm still buzzing from it.
It's so cool to see yet another new generation.
Shouldn't be that big of a surprise because these are, after all, Irish college kids. But still,
the first time we played here was 14 years ago, and they knew. They had college-age kids at our first gig here at Fever McGee's, not here, but in Dublin. And they were going, crazy for the Rebel stuff. And it's happening again. It's a whole new generation of kids, and it's just great because we've heard people say too that Irish kids and stuff are more into the modern stuff, dance stuff. That's usually what you hear at clubs. Is that, but they know they knew Athenry. They're doing all the shots in Athenry, the Freebird Fly, Sinn Féin, and all that stuff, and they knew Broad Black Brimmer.
That was good.
They knew Black and Tans. They knew, as Patrick was just saying, the biggest song of the night was "Used to Love Her" by the Small Doctors. So that was it's just great to see. I mean, it thrills me when we go to O'Bannon's and we see college kids knowing Talking Heads and Steve Earle and all that stuff. It's the same here. It's nice. It was nice to see. I was not expecting that reaction from what was clearly a club kid crowd, but they still knew the stuff that we do. So that was really great.
Yeah, it was a really fun night. One of the things that we want to touch on today, you've heard us speak many times about the HORSLIPS.
Yep.
One of the early kind of proggy, kind of Celtic. Well, let's start with Celtic and prog and rock and folk. They have all this stuff neatly packed together, well blended together, we'll say. And we have done an episode. I believe it was episode on SlapperCast, and we had Stephen, a young man that lives. He actually lives in Cushendall, which is pretty close to the Giant's Causeway, but he drove from his place to Letterkenny to watch us perform. But he'd also said that he had heard us on that episode talking about the HORSLIPS, and he said you kind of went on. He was speaking about me because you kind of made it sound, you were speaking very passionately about the HORSLIPS, and I said, yeah, I love it. And he said, well, I know. He said, so what I've done is he phoned first and set up the time to come in and talk to us, and he brought us, and I should have brought him down. But I repacked my case. Everything's ready to go. But he brought us each a poster that he has designed. He's kind of Stephen. I'm just surmising. I don't know this to be true. I don't know it to be 100% true. But my guess is that Stephen is responsible, or in some way, in a small way, or maybe in a big way, responsible for the HORSLIPS reuniting, because he was in touch with all these other HORSLIP fans, and they were all talking about memorabilia and gear and all this stuff, right? So when we did that episode, that caught his attention, and he goes, I want to talk more about your, Blaggards and HORSLIPS and how I hate to say ripped off. I mean, we've never sat down with a HORSLIPS track and ripped it off. But when you have that music in your head and you write a song, or you play a song different than you may have.
Yeah, the influence comes out.
Yeah,
of course.
And especially when the music touches you like that. And we've all listened to it. You guys are captive audience. We're driving 18 hours to a gig. You're going to hear some of this fucking, this stuff. So he drove from Cushendall, and he met us in Letterkenny, and he brought us gifts, and he asked me, he goes, hey, can I talk to you, maybe before the show, and maybe we'll get the lads on the phone. And I was thinking, the lads, is he talking about the HORSLIPS? Is he talking about? And he was. So I got to talk to Jim Lockhart, and I got to talk to Jim Lockhart and to Eamon Carr on the phone. I was just telling them before. This is all before the show too. We're awaiting some kind of sound, help with the sound, so we can do our show. And our wonderful crew has been on buses and traveling and hiking and doing all this kind of stuff all day. They're kind of wrecked. Everybody's kind of wrecked, and we want to do a good show for them so they can go back to bed and get. So you're juggling all this shit. He goes, hey, I've got Jim on the phone. I've got Eamon on the phone. And I'm talking to these guys, and these guys are fucking heroes. These guys are legends. Telling me stories about Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, first-hand information, conversations that they had. So, and I'm talking to these guys, my knees are weak, and I'm stuttering, and I'm going, and I'm just so excited. And Stephen just got this big shit-eating grin on his, and he's just pacing up and down the main street. He's just like, yeah. And so it was just a blast. And he also, Barry Devlin, gave me Barry's number, and Barry had texted back saying, "Hey, sorry I missed this." He goes, "Here's my number. Have him call me," and blah blah. And I was just, oh my God, so
that's crazy.
Yeah. So just to that level of level of shrinkage in the world. We're these guys who you just hold in such high regard. Get down. And I'm talking to them on the phone like we're talking. And let me just tell you, there is no difference talking to them than there is to one of your mates, because there's no you reading that, you'd be singing Neil Diamond if it wasn't for but they could not have been more humble. They could not have been more into what we're doing as well, and they're just that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, but as down to earth. I mean, as salt of the earth, and as real and true musicians. Because I'm also explaining to them the fiasco that's at hand. We're in. There is. What was the imminent peril, or there is there's constant peril at the moment. We're in this perilous ocean of uncertainty, and they're just laughing because how many times have they gone through this exact thing?
Much bigger venues.
Yeah, so they're commiserating, but at the same time they're going, "Hey, don't worry about it. You can make it work." And Stephen, who's now pacing up, he looks like he's a marching guard, because he's so happy, and but Dan, he'll do about 30 paces south and 30 paces north, 30 paces, and he's just giddy because he knew what HORSLIPS meant to us, and to make that connection. It was just, so we'd like to say, and this is the little caveat here, maybe we'd be able to get them to make an appearance on the show.
Oh my God.
Every single one of them said, I of course haven't spoken to Barry yet, but every single, the two of them said that they would, love to see a show, love to come. Stephen also had come to the show, telling me, look, I'm 2 hours away, which is a lot of small winding roads and very, large distance, but he said, I'm going to just stay for a couple of songs. He didn't budge for the whole night.
I was about to mention that, yeah.
Yeah, he was just glued to his set and smile on his face. He's just...
Even despite the 2 hour delay.
Yes.
2+ hour delay.
And remember, he had driven the 2 hours and got there 2 hours early too,
And then what about the headphones? So we had one of our guests on our tour. She just struggling. I was like, "Hey, I need some earplugs." So I was like, "Let me see what I can get for you." And then he was like, I asked you, "Hey, did you have any?" And he was next to you, and he goes, "I'll be right back." And he just disappeared. And the next time he comes back, he's like, "Here." I'm like, he went and got something at the store. I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Who are you?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
"Come here, man."
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that was apart from this being just a magical tour. I mean, it's bordering spiritual. It's just so. Every time we drive to you'll see the pictures. We'll add all the pictures, but every time we drive to a location, it's the worst thing that's happening is the sun's shining and the wind's blowing. But our visibility has been 1,000%.
The weather's almost been perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, every time we went to a place, I'm like,
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, it's magical in the summer." I'm like, "How can it get any better than this?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we had a perfect day at the Cliffs too, which was...
I saw the photographs,
Which has been actually kind of rare. Relative to the times we've gone, it's like a very windy and cold and all.
Yeah, but they all leave with good photographs. And great memories.
Yeah.
The connection between the people traveling with us. I mean, it's just Paul and Mary bringing us the 2 bottles of whiskey for the bus. I always have whiskey on the bus just to toast them on the way. I don't get people hammered before they get, So it's basically a welcome to Ireland. We do a shot. Well, this time we've also had birthday. We had Jackie's birthday, we had Susan's birthday, and so there was a little extra. But we wanted a little extra. But then Mary went. She got 2 bottles. Fred and Nikki from Arizona, they brought a bottle. Everybody just wants to make sure. Oh, and then of course
PK, gave us a bottle of Echo Island poutine.
Yeah,
and he told me several times, like, "Be very, very careful with that poutine."
But this is regulated. This is not like the moonshine.
Okay.
This is not the stuff that your granddad made out of potatoes and your grandmother's underwear. So we have that's the good stuff.
Grandma's underwear?
Yeah, that's the bite. Anyway, so we're gonna wrap this up. We got a lot of stuff. We still got a lot of stuff to get to, but we need.
Oh, can we give a shout out to Gert too? In Westport.
Yeah. Westport begins in Westport. Yeah, Gert,
friend of Mark's, right?
He's not a sound man, but he's a sound man.
Yeah. He brought a system, and it was 2 Fishman array speakers.
Line array speakers, yeah.
And it was one of those things where there was no time to discuss anything. So let's do it this way. You plug the bass into this thing. We'll run you through this board. Blah blah blah. We'll just go. We're like, okay.
It was plugging go.
And we had no time to negotiate monitors or anything like that. All we did get Monoline for you, but of course it was limited. It was just a guitar, yeah. And
I go.
So and we were
great. Best I've ever had.
We were backed up into this little alcove of the bar here, with a fireplace behind us. Oh no, actually it was a stove.
It was like a stove.
Yeah, this little tiny stove, and so with the speakers like at the edge, so we could just barely hear them. We could hear enough of the sound coming back to say, okay, we know that there's something happening.
Yeah.
But it sounded like, to our ears, like a transistor radio, especially the bass for me. Like all I could hear is mink, mink, mink. You know, unless there's a part where the guitar dropped out, then I could, if I leaned forward, I could kind of hear it better. So I was thinking the whole time, I was like, this can't sound good. There's no way this sounds good from our perspective. And like, what are they hearing? But everybody was really into it. And then when we stopped, they're like, "Oh my God, that sounded so great! You know, it was the best." And I thought, really? And everybody kept saying it, including one of Mark's friends, Michael, I think his name is just saying, "Class, that was so he was just bubbling over."
Yeah.
So and then Gert came over, was like, "So yeah." Yeah. He was an absolute sweetheart.
I had the same thought. I was like, what are they hearing? Because I know what I'm only hearing. I couldn't hear no bass guitar, right? Because I'm so far back. So after the show, I said, "Stacie, how did it sound?" She goes, "Good." I go, No. How did it sound? She goes, "Man, it sounded awesome." I was like, "All right." I was like, "Nice," you know? Because it was almost like we were playing off memory. You know?
Exactly. It was
playing off memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
just hit the replay button and just go on muscle memory.
I mean, it was fun. I had a good time. I like the people off to the side. I can kind of see them through the window or the doorway, you know? They're just, I'm like, they're getting all drums, but I was like, oh,
there was actually one point when we did Peel FM, and I suggested, should we do Peel FM? I was like, is that going to be too weird? Because I was thinking, because I know we sound like a little transistor radio out there, like, so why are we going to play the metal song? You know?
It's not metal.
And I was wrong. Obviously, it sounded great, so I'm glad we didn't skimp on the set list. Yeah, that turned out really great.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes. So So
what's your favorite part of the tour away from shows?
To me, it's like trying to choose a favorite prostitute. You know, there's so many, and there's some of them you've gone back to a few times. It's just difficult to pinpoint. To say this is the. But in the moment you're there. Like for instance, I didn't go to the Cliffs today, hence the clean clothes. Every time I go to the Cliffs, I was telling Mary and Paul Smith this today, just not even an hour ago. I was telling them every time I walk up to the Cliffs, it's the same time. It's every time, and I've been there as a kid. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times, or at least twice. But as an adult, I've been there, so 10 times. 11. It was just it's silly. It's just every single time I walk upon that ground. Same things with Giant Causeway. Same things. I thought that was cool.
Giant, it was nice.
Streets of Belfast, Derry. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had a woman in Derry. Let me rephrase that. A woman drove by me in Derry, and she rolled down the road. I'm wearing this hat, this one, and. She rolls down the road and she goes, "You don't get too many hats like that around here." And I said, "Sweetheart, you didn't need to waste your time. I fucking know."
And you had literally just been talking about how people were reacting to your hat.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I've said this before on episodes of SlapperCast. The Irish are not shy about looking at you like that. What the fuck are you wearing? For instance, today, it's a little bit chilly. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Why? Because the sun was out and it's not cold to me. But I also enjoy a little chill because we live in fucking, in a lava pit, right? In Texas. So I'm wearing shorts and t-shirt. I did a little bit of a run. I got some laundry done. But I'm out and about, and people will drive by you or walk by you and go, and they'll look at you like you shit's hanging out or something. I just going, and that blows me away. Again, I always kind of go back to how Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy would feel walking down the street. This essentially this giant, dark-skinned, big hair, how he must have felt on I'm doing this on purpose. I'm holding the hair out of my head, out of my face, and I'm, and he had no, he didn't have a choice. That's how he looks, and that's how he wanted, but he was throwing shapes everywhere. But it must have just been amazing to him to have every single fucker on the road go, what? What is that? So, yeah. So, if I have anything, in common with Phil Lynott, that's what I have. Yeah, black and proud.
So I love the afternoon pub crawling today. Like I was telling you earlier, where I'm like, oh hey, look, there's Mark. Oh hey, there's Dan. Like we were just
ran into the
you just ran into everybody I'm like,
yeah.
What's happening here?
Yeah.
Like usually you travel abroad, you don't know anybody.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, this is. I kind of look at Stacie, I'm like, man, this is awesome. I was like, let's go over here. And you just see someone else. I'm like, that was cool. I'm like, man, that doesn't happen. That happens on this.
Yeah. And when I said that, the reason why I left Ireland was because it's so small. This is what happens when you don't even have to be from this town, but you're going to run into people from your town. It's tiny. It's so small. I like the anonymity of the Texas Plains, boy, But so anyway, we were discussing before the camera went on, we were discussing 2025, we're discussing our route and some ideas. If you have any interest in coming with us, I highly suggest that you watch the next few weeks, as we're going to be throwing some ideas out there. And we're also going to be doing overrated, underrated when we get back to town, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's ready.
Okay, good. We're gonna do that. We're also going home to a studio. The Woodshed lives.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right. So we are coming back to a Woodshed. We're coming back to the 2025. We also there's an asterisk beside it now. There wasn't before. We're talking about New Year's. There's an asterisk beside it, but just hang tight, stick with us. We're working on it, and we're gonna have info for you ASAP. This is Turbo. That's the man behind the camera right here. Where is he? There he is.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he is. So anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Cheers.
Yeah. Ow, quit yelling. Here.
That's what I was gonna say when she said take color. I held it back so hard.
Band photo. Right here.